Let me record this. We had our project yesterday where we cleaned out the refrigerator and the pantry and threw away all the food that was old and expired, especially there was some pre-pandemic like pancake mix lurking in the back of the pantry, and so we took out everything out of the refrigerator, cleaned it up. It was glorious.
I like that.
I wouldn't have done it without Corvo's prodding. It's like by myself, no, no,
So do you buy a lot of things? Do you have usually a full pantry?
not really, no,
Okay. So was it
no.
from the pandemic then? So it's there.
It was from the pandemic and before, and our tastes changed, and there are things that you just think you'll keep, and you end up not eating them. And I was thinking in terms of like the what's it called? Bisquick. It wasn't actually Bisquick, but the powdered mix that you make waffles with and stuff like that. No, you make all your waffles by from scratch, huh?
I mean, I buy the gluten-free flour and I make
Okay.
it.
Yeah. I actually there was some garbanzo flour from well a while back that was expired now, but we tried for a while doing fritters with garbanzo flour, which was actually pretty tasty.
I'm sure it's good. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love all the flours that there is now to bake.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like to bake with I think we've spoke about it before. I order a flour from France on
Oh, that's right.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do actually like I buy gluten-free flour to do
Uh-huh.
the waffle mix that my kids like.
Uh-huh.
I found a good recipe actually on the internet, and I have it saved on my phone. So on Saturdays, or we've been doing it a lot of Sundays, because usually on Sundays we do the crepe dinners, and we haven't started them yet. We do them when it starts getting cold.
You do did you say crepe
Crepe,
dinner?
crepe dinner, yeah.
Wow.
So I bake, I the crepe mix, and we eat around 4 or 5. So we eat sweet ones and then salted ones.
Oh man, that sounds amazing.
That's our Friday evening snack/dinner.
Yeah, crepes are.
You should move to Michigan.
Well,
We invite you someday.
I was thinking as we were doing the cleaning out of the fridge that it was very different when I was married, and my wife and I tried to do some cleaning like that. That was there were issues with that.
But I'm sure today it would work differently because you grew ever since, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
sure it
maybe.
will just go perfectly. What I tell my husband, he's still my husband, and I would love to be his best friend.
Mhm.
I would love, because I said, I love you and I will always love you. You're the father of my children. I spent, almost 22 years of my life with you.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think it's sad to just discontinue people like that. So
yeah,
I said, you're a wonderful part of my children's life. You're their dad. And I would love to have the most amazing relationship with you.
yeah.
And I just don't feel like it's going to be like a marital relationship anymore, because we've tried that for 20 years and that hasn't worked out well. But there are a lot of things that I appreciate that he did. Like I shared on Facebook that I had a flat tire yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's
And all
awesome.
of a sudden I was so grateful that, all the little details I don't have to care about. I
Yeah.
didn't know what our insurance was. I never changed a flat tire. When there is something that is not working in the house, he just takes care of it.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
cleans my house,
Yeah,
my car, and
yeah,
all of those little details. So
yeah.
he's a wonderful person, and I don't take that out. I don't ignore that because of other issues.
Yeah, the problem I had with Jennifer, who's my ex-wife, the problem that I had was when I got into a relationship with Adriana. She didn't want me. She's like, You know,
Yeah, I
you
think that would
don't
be
want you
hard.
seeing your ex-wife. And it's like,
I'm sure
well,
that
you
is
know,
hard. We haven't been there yet, but I'm sure that's hard. Like,
it's like I'm assuring her, it's like, no, there's no chance. There's no
oh,
chance in HELL, right? That we'll ever get back together as man and wife. And she wasn't having any of it, you know.
that is I mean, that's, we haven't been there yet, but that's, I'm sure that's a big heartache, that's a big, um, because I knowing from, for example, I know that I'm a very nostalgic and romantic person, and I have my old journals. I think I have my high school journal, and I was
Uh,
showing
uh,
that to my son Isaiah, and he saw Rock Voisine. You remember I told you about Rock Voisine? The singer, the
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
Canadian
yeah, yeah,
singer that I love.
yeah.
Actually, I still have in the basement. Maybe I bring that upstairs sometime and show it here quickly. My journal, and so I still have my journal when I was 16.
Uh,
So,
uh,
so it just tells me that when we need to clean out the house and everything, that's going to be very, very difficult for me. I know that. I can anticipate it, but
mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
that's how it is.
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about, and maybe for you, actually, you're more in the I was going to use the word throes. You're in the throes of that right now than me, who's been divorced for 6 years now. But but yeah, it's like, how do you negotiate a lot of these things in your life that sort of you counted on as being one way because of your relationship with your partner, you know.
There is this amazing book called Conscious Uncoupling.
I've
That
heard
is
the term before.
that is amazing. That it says that it doesn't have to be. It's sad because that's how the divorce attorneys make money, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, how can you hate someone that you love?
Right.
There is a lot of anger and things like that. It means that you haven't worked out the situation.
Mhm.
I love that personally. I think I am at a place where I don't have anger or resentment. I do have a lot of love and compassion for both of us.
Uh-huh.
And, and yeah, I love him and
Yeah,
I'm on the board for him.
that's a great decision to make and a great place to come from, I
Mhm.
think. But I was referring more to just like the details of, like, well, for example, for you yesterday. So what do you do when you get a flat tire and you're used to, this is how it was before, and this is who, you know, I would call my husband, and he would take care of it. And so it's like
I just realized that it was an opportunity for me to be grateful, to have gratitude as an
yeah,
attitude.
yeah.
Yeah, gratitude as an attitude. So yeah, I was very grateful. And actually, I told him afterwards, I said, wow, I had this. And he was sorry because he's so nice. He came home and gave me the other car and took the car and went and
Uh,
fixed it today
uh,
and brought it
uh,
back to me. So he's
uh,
still very uh,
yeah,
involved and wonderful.
yeah.
So I said, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that it's this way. And I pray that it continues this way.
Right,
It
right.
doesn't
Yeah,
have to be, I'll play my part. I'll do 100%. I'll do everything that I can so that we continue to have this amazing, wonderful
yeah,
co-parenting relationship. I think
yeah,
we just need to want it.
yeah,
And I remember telling him once, the people who spend a lot of money on divorce and things because they don't agree, I think that money would have been very useful for the children.
yeah. Right, right. Yeah,
So, but yeah, I mean, again, if we are in a place of non-judgment, it's hard. It's the suffering, the pain probably makes it difficult for people just to, yeah, especially, when you're separating because there was, unfaithfulness or um things like that. I think you have
yeah,
more anger and more, it's harder to forgive.
yeah. For Jennifer and me, it was just, I think if you had to go like into court and write the document or whatever, it was just irreconcilable differences. Right. That's, just the catch-all term for we just don't get along in this, you know, in this really. And what I think was interesting is after we got divorced, we got along. Well, of course, we didn't see each other as much, but we got along much better.
Mm. After you got divorced, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
After we got divorced.
how
Yeah.
what do you attribute it to?
Uh, just the fact that for whatever reason, our personalities did not work in terms of being together in that intimate a way, I guess. Yeah.
Is it, I wonder, could it have been different today if you were still married to her today, and if she was growing at the same pace as you? Do you think it
It's
would
a
have?
possibility. I think about that quite a bit. I think about that for both of us because I can't remember if I talked about it on this podcast, but I know you and I have talked about this, and I share this frequently. How she called me one time and she wanted to make amends for all the things that she quote unquote did that she thought were not very nice to me. And I was at the point where I had to, instead of saying, "Oh, well, yeah, you're right," that, because that's what I thought during our marriage. It was like it's all your fault. But I was at the point where I could actually see my part in it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think about that a lot. I think if I was actually more the way I am now, probably we would have moved to end the relationship much sooner than we did.
Yeah, what I'm
It hung
hearing
on
is
too
that
long. Yeah.
time, growth happened, and the time that went on in between gave you both time to think about the things and see your
Yeah.
part, because
Yeah.
maybe that's
Exactly.
why also we sometimes they say when there is a problem, just walk away from it and take some time to think it
Mhm.
through,
Mhm.
because it's a time of reflection,
Yeah.
of you're not as involved, so you sometimes you have time to see yourself, to see,
Yeah.
reflect on your act, but sometimes not either, sometimes not.
Yeah.
So when you were talking as well, I was thinking about when you said that it was more of the you unmatchability, your
Yeah.
ways of being.
Yeah.
I do think that there is evolution possible, but I think what I was thinking about is that when trauma is involved, and for me that's at the core of people not getting along.
Mhm.
At the core of it, there is lies, there is false beliefs, and there are core longings not met.
Mhm.
And when there is, are you familiar with attachment?
As far as what do you mean?
Attachment generally. So I did a lot of research on attachment, and I'll probably not continue to talk about it because I could talk about it for hours. But generally speaking, a lot of the relationships, whether the person have had a secure attachment with his mom, will determine a lot of the relationship patterns of that person.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that's why I
You and I
see,
have talked about this for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
that's why I see our role as women. I have my whole body of work around women that I love, and that I'm working on even enhancing it and in offering it in a more contained manner. That's why I think that as women, we have such an important role in the world. I've written articles saying that better moms will do a better world, because our
Mhm.
role for how our children turn out is so important. It doesn't mean that your role is not important. I think it's equally important. But
Mhm.
just the way nature has made it, it's the
Right.
mom who bear the children,
Right.
and who we breastfeed, we have
Yep.
that connection,
Yep.
and that those 6 months, and we've started talking about it not long ago. There is a period of time where it's the mom who is the essential person the
Yep.
child needs.
Yeah.
And then it changes, and we talk about it. The child has to learn to be independent and to, sustain himself. It's in the world.
Mm.
But as women, our role is so important because it does determine how the adult kid behaves in relationships later.
Yeah.
A lot of books, a lot of psychology books there is this book, is from Daniel Flamanban. It's in French. I'm reading it. My friend gave it to me, and it's an amazing book. It really talks about all that dynamic of how the attachment with the mom will determine a lot of the relationship patterns of the person later. So yeah, I think we were talking about the issues in the marriage, and it's important for us women to make sure that we are very well attached to our children and the attachment is done well, just to give them maybe more chances in their marriage later in life.
Yeah. Well, we are at time. I know it's like every day, but I'm always flabbergasted how fast these conversations go for limiting ourselves to around 15. It's like,
we've talked about, maybe we want to talk about it. We've talked about doing a longer
extended one,
versions, and I would love to do something where we will almost, I don't know if it can be interactive, but to have guests to take questions. Maybe we can think about the masterclass or something.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Oh, actually, I want to say hi. I have my Facebook. I want to say hi to Tom if you're still on. Tom said hello. So Tom
Lipinski. Hey, Tom.
So hi. Nice to see you. And thank you all for joining us, whether you joined us right here live or on the replay later on.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. And we will see you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Right? Yes. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Okay.